I'll talk about tech questions with you. So let's start. Let's see what we will cover in this video. What are question tags, negative question tags, and positive question tags? Question tags with and without an auxiliary verb and exceptions. Let's see. What are question tags? At the conclusion of the statements, question tags are used to ask brief questions that verify whether or not the statements are true. So we can say that we construct our sentence like we normally do. Then we add at the end of the sentence question tags to verify whether or not our statement is true. Let's move on. Negative question tags. If the main sentence is positive, the question tags should be negative. Let's explain it through an example. You are free, aren't you? We can see that in our main sentence, the subject is you, then verb are in its positive form. But in our question text, aren't you? We can see that we use the same verb in the main sentence, but in its negative form, because we're talking about negative question text, and we use the same subject. Let's look at our other example. Your sister cooks well, doesn't she? So you can ask, but teacher, I can see the auxiliary verb does in the first sentence. Yes, you're right, but we can see third person singular as in the main sentence. We will explain this in detail in exception section. Let's move on. Positive question tags. Just like the opposite of the negative question tags, if the main sentence is negative, the question tags should be positive. What we mean? Let's look at our example. He can't drive, can he? In our main sentence, we can see that subject is he, but in tag question, it still remains the same as he. In our main sentence, we can see the verb is in its negative form, but in our question tags, it's in its positive form because we're talking about the positive question tag. Let's look at our other example. They haven't come yet, have they? Still, the subject remains the same, and if we're making positive question tags, main sentence, the verb negative, but in positive, but in question tag, it's positive. Let's move on. Question tags with the auxiliary verb. The question tag includes the same auxiliary verb that appears in the main sentence. In the same way, question tag is constructed the same modal verb that appears in the main sentence. So we can say that nothing changed. We will do what we do in positive and negative question tags. If the main sentence, if in the main sentence negative modal verb used, question tag should be positive. And if the main sentence is positive, the question tag should be negative modal verb. We can see that the subject still remains the same. Let's move on the next subject, question text. Question text without an auxiliary verb. From this point, my colleague Sude will explain it.
Hi everyone, from here I will continue. I will explain the question text without auxiliary verb. If there is no auxiliary verb in the main body of the sentence, the appropriate form of do is used to construct the question tag. Let's examine it. He eats fish, doesn't he? As you can see, there is no auxiliary verb in the main sentence, so we use do or does appropriate to our pronoun. There are some exceptions of tag question rules. Let's examine them. Let's go to the beach, shall we? When we see let's in the main sentence, we use shall in the tag question. I am right, aren't I? There is no am not in the tag question form, so when we see I am, we use aren't I in the tag question. There are other exceptions of it. Let's see. Open the window, will you? When the main clause is imperative, the tag question is formed with will, won't, would, and wouldn't. There is nothing wrong, is there? When we see there in the main sentence, we use there in the tag question. Somebody wanted to borrow Jack's bike, didn't they? We use the pronoun they in question text after statements with nobody, no one, somebody, someone, everybody, everyone as the subject. Please don't forget to do document that includes exercises regarding the tech questions we explained to you. You can reinforce your knowledge with this activity. In this activity, you need to match the sentences with the question text.